Hello, my absolutely beautiful Aries friends, and welcome to your horoscope for October of 2023. Where Aries, this month we are officially in the eclipse season. We've got the last two eclipses of 2023 coming our way. One is going to light up that Libra placement and the other is going to light up Taurus. So very Venus energy, which gives the signal to us this month that you're doing a lot of mending this month, right? Relationships, interacting with people, instead of looking for solutions or like driving something home or let's get down to the nitty gritty and fix everything. This month is a little bit like, let's have peace. Let's create some circumstances where everybody's coming together, or at least the relationship is looking really healthy. So it's a really lovely energy that I think that you will get a lot out of. I also think that because there is so much relationship energy going on this month, it is a great omen for you Aries energies to look at what's going on in your business life or people that you are connected to in business, because sometimes it's really still not about what you know, it is about who you know, and this can be incredibly useful, and these eclipses have been working and helping you out, and the Libra eclipse is going to continue to help you throughout the next year to really hone in your people skills, because who you know can help you go further faster. Now when we do experience that last eclipse that's happening in Taurus, it has been some time. You've been working on your money, working on your value, how you make money, your self-worth, your self-esteem. And I think we get to see a really nice shift in the energy that you have around your resources. So we will explore all of that as the month goes on, and we will also welcome Pluto out of retrograde, heading and getting ready to move back towards this Plutonian energy, which gives our whole society a shift in energy, which also means it makes a brand new space for you to bring skills, talents, behaviors, and ideas that you've maybe had for a long time, Aries, out into the surface. All right, let's jump in and talk about what is going on this month. So first of all, at the beginning of the month on the 4th, we see Mercury entering into the energy of Libra, and Mercury will travel here until October 22nd. Now this is lighting up your 7th house space. So right here at the beginning of the month, really truly you're starting to work on relationships, and it's making decisions in relationships, having conversations in relationships where you're more air. It's in the intellect of things. Let me be thinking and hearing and listening to all sides. You know, Mercury is not in retrograde anymore. It's left the post-retrograde shadow time. So Mercury is working powerfully in considering all of the different options, all of the opinions, all of the viewpoints that are around it. And this bodes very well for relationship interactions that you need to have. So if you needed to do something with your partner, if you needed to, make a deal, have a negotiation, you're speaking publicly, something like that, this will be a phenomenal energy for you to be able to use at your disposal. Now, as we get to the 8th, we're going to see Venus enter into the energy of Virgo. This lights up your 6th house space. And one of the things that I really, really like about this energy for you this month is that I think that not only does Venus attract in, so it's pulling towards you, calling in towards you, and it's calling in something that is praise, it's appreciation, there's a love, there's a recognition, a sensuality, a gentleness, but there's also this space where I think, looking at your chart, you've maybe been working on something or been in the details of something for some time, and now someone around you, because there's so much relating this month, is recognizing what you've done. And there could be around the 8th, 9th, in those days as Venus gets into this Virgo placement, some energy where you're actually getting some recognition for the work that you've done, for the details that you've done. Now Venus is still a financial planet, and I really like to lean into that a little bit. So also, if you've been doing something that helps people make money, or you've been putting together a plan that helps you make money, this can be a phenomenal energy for letting Venus bring that energy towards you. So really, really enjoy that and use that, okay? When we get to the 10th, we see Pluto turning direct in the energy of Capricorn at the top of your chart. Now, this is going to be in the 10th house space. And since 2008, Pluto had been working in that Capricorn vibration, going over your career, letting you take a very deep look at, first of all, society. What is the society that you have lived in? And do your ideas have space in the society? Is it, did you want to work on something behind the scenes, or did you feel like you were a little bit going against the grain of how society was even saying that you had to work. And now, as we saw Pluto take this little dip into the energy of Aquarius, it was like, oh, I don't have to do it the way everybody else was doing it. But instead, you found a little bit of that like notch in the doorway, where you could go, man, maybe I can actually do work in a different way that's a lot more in alignment with who I am, how I work, how I move, what I value today. And you'll see that at a society level, Pluto retrograde, Pluto moving into Aquarius is going to make a lot more space for you to be able to move and to work like that. Now, other things that you've also been working on since 2008 with this Plutonian energy is looking at truly what is the authority in your life? You know what I mean? Where is the power? Where is the control in your life? Because if you are aligning yourself with a power or a sense of control or a set of beliefs or an organization or a government that cannot really fully sustain you, what happens is when Pluto goes retrograde for its 5-month cycle that it does every year, you get an opportunity to go back into what you believe and do a real assessment of like, what are my desires for success? What are my desires for authority? Where are my behaviors that I've had around work, around my identity, around who I am that don't actually fit anymore? This resource does not fit anymore. So you have the opportunity to be doing a re-looking at that. And I think it is an absolutely bold energy. For the last thing I wanted to say about this is I was thinking about the eclipses that were happening in Taurus and Scorpio, is that these ideas around wealth or money management or what it looks like to be wealthy, whatever that word means for you in your life, I think that there has been a real big re-evaluation of that in your chart. And that means that destructive behaviors, subconscious behaviors, actions, ideas, I think you've come into some empowerment around them because now you understand how those two cannot be the authority in your life. Now, again, we'll see Pluto come direct at that 27 degrees of Capricorn, but we saw it go retrograde at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and we'll see it move back to the 0 degrees of Aquarius as we get into January. On the 12th, we see Mars entering into the energy of Scorpio. So this is pretty much home court advantage. Mars is very comfortable in the energy of Scorpio as being one of the ruling planets of this particular area of the chart. So as Mars is working through Scorpio until we get to almost the end of November, you have action. Right? You've got the action of passion in your back pocket, and this is lighting up your 8th house space. So one of the things that calls to my mind right away is taking action on debt, on detox, on getting rid of things that you don't want or that you don't need anymore. And the thing is, it's Mars in Scorpio. So whatever you are focused on, you are focused on that thing. And I love this because this is a very streamlined, almost obsessive kind of energy. You know, when Mars is in Libra, you're doing maybe multiple things. So it was like, I'm kind of indecisive about what to do. As Mars is in Scorpio, you're like, this is important to me. I am going to go straight at this thing until I get it done or until I get the desired outcome. And the better part about Mars and Scorpio is that the action that you are taking is connected likely to something deeply emotional. Now, whether it is an emotional awakening, an emotional crisis, an emotional valence that has presented itself, you're moving in a way because from the inside out, you want to take this action to absolutely create change. And I think that that is beautiful. So, you know, you can also experience Mars in Scorpio like you're going to the depths of hell and back. And that can sometimes, you know, if you're maybe doing healing or you're doing some kind of transformative work, that might be able to feel really, really good. That could be, maybe you really, really like that. Or, you know, it's the other side where you're in ecstasy, you're in passion with a partner, something like this, and you're taking it like, you know, to hell and back. Like, that's really exciting. But it can also be very mundane and boring, but you need to get it done, like debt, taxes, real estate insurance. You know, you're maybe not as excited about it and you gotta really go into all of it to get it done, but you'll have the energy, I think, to be able to do so. All right, after we get past the 12th, we're going to see on the 14th that we arrive at this new moon solar eclipse. Now, just to flash back a little, we did some eclipsing already, okay? We've experienced 4 different eclipses this year. Now, we had one in April, we had one in May, now we've got the last 2, and this is the last solar eclipse that we're going to have of the year, okay? So be clear on that. It's the last solar eclipse. Now, because it's happening in the energy of Libra in your 7th house, again, this pulls us to relationships, one-on-one conscious relationships. Where are you living with someone? You have a roommate, your partner you're married to, your partner you're working with, a mentor, working with the public. It's also open enemies, you know, maybe what you call a higher power, how you connect with yourself. All of these things are being lit up in this 7th house. One of the things that I like about this particular solar eclipse is that you have the opportunity to plant your seeds of intention, you know, to get concentrated focus on what you would like to let go in order to begin a new round of relationships, or relationships in a new vibration. And one of the examples or the metaphors that I like to share, and please express this in your own way, however it works for you, but is this idea that, you know, you've been married or you've been in a committed relationship, even if it's a business partnership, you've been in a committed relationship for a long time. And it's not that you need a divorce, it's that the relationship and how you relate has got to come to a different place. So by strengthening the relationship, by strengthening the understanding, learning to, you know, connect and move in a way that is more Libra, harmonious, where this is for us, you know, what we're doing actually has a purpose. Our marriage has a purpose and it's bigger than us. Our company has a purpose and it's bigger than us. This creates a really awesome opportunity to let go of what is keeping you from that growth, right? You can just start to let it go, let it go, let it go. It's an absolutely beautiful energy. So make sure you are checking your chart 10,000% for 21 degrees of Libra, because that is where we're going to see this new moon solar eclipse. And this is also going to play out over the next 6 months, okay? So next 6 months to a year, depending on what it looks like in your chart, you will have these experiences. You'll be going back into your life, into 2004, 1996. You'll move into, a little math, 1977. You're going to be going back and you're looking at all of these different places to see where you were having much of the same experience. Because the thing you can work with when we're dealing with nodes and eclipse energy is that we just live our patterns. So you've already been here, and what was going on for you that you had to learn to relate, Aries, in this different way. Okay, the 22nd, and a little bit of a busy day. Not that having an eclipse is like a small potato. Okay, but on the 22nd, we're going to see Mercury enter into the energy of Scorpio. Also, we'll see the Sun enter into the energy of Scorpio. Both of these are going to be lighting up that 8th house space. Mars is also working here. So really, truly, as we are experiencing the second half of this month, the detoxing, get rid of it. If you don't need it anymore, let it go. In the 8th house, sometimes what we have too is an acknowledgement of what we're doing. I acknowledge that when I do this, this is destructive. I acknowledge when I do this, I demonstrate my passion, right? There's just a real acknowledgement of the motives that move us and what we're working with. So in your 8th house, you have the opportunity to do all of that while the 8th house is absolutely lit. Mercury is going to help you make decisions and be clear and be direct about what you're thinking. Have conversation that is not only intuitive, because Mercury in a water sign taps into our intuitive and emotional intelligence, but it is also going to help you talk about what's been down there, what's below the surface, what's the vulnerable stuff that you want to talk about, you want to share. You know, 8th house, we can be doing collaboration as well. So, you know, have you had some fear about collaboration, whether that's therapy or creating videos? What is it that you've been needing to talk about, express about, share about in this 8th house? And as the Sun is rolling over here, it brings light, heat, life, and energy. With Mars, there's also a really nice sense of get a strategy together that will deeply, deeply, deeply course correct or change or empower this area of your life. Okay, on the 28th, we're going to have the last eclipse of the year. It's also the last one happening in the Taurus and Scorpio axes. So on the 28th, we're going to see a lunar eclipse happening in the energy of Taurus at 5 degrees of Taurus. So locate that 5 degrees of Taurus on your chart so you can make sure you're keeping up with what's going on. But it's been a season of working on your second house, Aries, finances, your value, your self-worth, how you make money, what you're doing with your money. Maybe you've even been looking at, resources you would like to invest your money in order to really make some good decisions to move yourself forward. Or you've been looking at, do I still value the resource that has been paying my bills? And now I'm maybe finding out that I don't as much. Whatever it is, I do think that this particular lunar eclipse, first of all, reminds us we're going to end something, acknowledge something, and we need to make an adjustment. But I think that this is a fresh start. This is really like a really nice fresh start kind of energy because, first of all, in the opposition, we've got two parts of you that have been going two separate ways for sure. And now I think there's an ability to create an integration, but also Uranus is over here in the energy of Taurus too, giving this feeling of, oh, okay, finally, I've innovated here. I can let it go. I can move forward. I got my money in order. I made the big purchase. I paid the debt. I let the job go that I didn't really want anymore, and I'm set and ready to make decisions in my finances in other ways. Whatever it is, this is really an energy of, do you still value it? Because whatever you continue to do in this second house with your money, with your self-esteem, there's a long-term connection to it. But I think you feel a lot more comfortable this month, Aries, to say that's not for me anymore. I'm ready to make the change and I'm ready to make the adjustment. Now, one last thought I did have with this Uranus traveling through this Tauran area as well is just, Uranus is exciting. Uranus is exciting, and granted, they're not super in orb or anything like that, but I've just got my eye on Uranus. And one of the things I think about are electronics. Whether you've got a lot of electronics plugged into like a power outlet or something like that, I would just be very, very mindful that yes, those power outlets are like built to last, very Taurus, you know what I mean? But also you can catch your house on fire. So I would be very, very mindful of things that have electrical components to them because they just might, Uranus, surprise you with what's going on. And also, if you've got 10,000 things plugged into that particular current, whether it's your spiritual or emotional current or just the plug in the wall, Aries, take a look at why they're there and if it's okay to let something go because you don't actually need this because your one other appliance actually does both things. You just never really knew how to use it. So it's a great month to take a look at those things. All right, my absolutely beautiful Aries friends, I hope you have a gorgeous month. Looking forward to hearing from you in the comment section down below. Where have these eclipses really shifted you in your second and your eighth houses, your assets and relationships, assets and intimacy houses over this last year? So let me know in the comment section down below. I love you guys a bunch, and I will see you next month.